Sorry, we're late. I was trying to book a convertible and take off to Miami.
Oh, wow, Miami. That sounds incredible. I'm waiting to go with Chantel and go back to Greece.
Okay, I'll meet you in Miami and we'll both take a plane to Greece. How about that?
Well, why are we dressed like Debbie and Ruben the Cuban?
Because we love them.
I feel I feel like we're both dressed like Miss Debbie. Yeah.
Miss Debbie, you're an inspiration, honey.
I love this look. I think I'm going to keep this on for a hot minute. Well, welcome. I'm Acid Betty, and you know me from your dreams.
And I'm Violet, and you might know me as that bitch that steals racist yard signs from yards.
That's a true story. And we are real life brother and sister, and are both totally obsessed with all things reality TV.
That's right. Welcome to our weekly reality rundown, and we're going to try to talk about all of our favorite things. Acid, what's going on your feed right now?
On my feed, on my reality TV feed, it's not really that busy, but I will have to tell you that I did go backwards and I saw a little bit of season 10 of The Reality Race because they're pushing that show.
What's that? Oh, so wait. Relative Race.
That's what it's called.
You said Reality Race, and I was like, oh, that sounds new.
Sorry,
and then you were like 15 million seasons. And
Relative
I was like,
Race.
Shit, what am I missing out?
Sorry, Relative Race.
Okay, so Relative Race.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I just want to mention it because it was funny because even though I went backwards, there was a team where there is like, I don't remember their gender or whatever, but there was like a black person and a white person. And it did happen to where the white guy was like, can I presume, or, you know, the black person was like, I can presume that you're my relative, right? And she was like, no, I'm your relative to the white guy. And I was like, oh, I got to report this. It actually happened.
Finally. We've been waiting for that to happen.
Yeah, and they did look the same, similar. It's always like, oh, how we look the same. And I thought that was really funny. So I wanted to report that I saw that on season 10 of Reality Relative Race. And also, just, I don't know if have you seen the commercial, but Lifetime has Where is Wendy Williams coming out?
Oh my gosh. I'm so glad you're bringing that up because I have seen the commercials and I'm quite intrigued, I'll be honest.
Yeah, I'm very intrigued as well. She looks spun out of her brain, and it looks like they're gonna show all the footage of her drunk and not talk about that she's on drugs.
She loves to exploit her visits to the doldrums.
Right? I feel like that's what's going to happen. Yeah. But anyway, so it says...
I think she's very much like... Do you remember her last documentary where she kind of explained her mentality? Where she was like, well, I've been doing it to other people all these years, so here it is. Here I am. Remember she was like drinking on the couch in her penthouse or whatever?
I never saw it. Is that what that was? I never saw it.
Oh, yeah, and she goes into it. She even goes back and revisits some traumatic moment where... Didn't we talk about it where she was like on camera when she actually fainted during her talk show? That
was during her talk show.
You see her like stroke out.
Yeah.
Yeah, she like talks about that moment and they show it. I didn't even know about it.
Oh, see, I thought they'd talk about that in this coming up.
No, this was a previous documentary that I watched already I thought that you had watched.
No, I hadn't, so I'll have to check that out.
Because I didn't know much about her until I caught this documentary, and it was just kind of like her exposed, really, and it's just her speaking to the camera the whole time. And she goes through it. She takes you through it. She's very transparent. So I was like, oh my God, there's more. There's more of this like depression and sad, like, wow, girl.
Well, yeah, so that's really it. I just saw that's coming up and I'm super excited. That's all that's on my feed. What about you? What's going on with you?
Oh my gosh, I'm so distracted by the Wendy Williams thing because I had forgot about that. Now I'm excited to watch that too. Just because you had mentioned Smothered, I watched the finale.
Oh yeah, Smothered.
Yeah. Just because you had mentioned like that should be Tim and Veronica's show, I thought, let me watch this and see what it's about. And it is a lot of cringe and weird, strange, almost like weird intimate relationships. I don't know. It was odd. I mean,
yeah,
you had the cute, like the mother and the daughter that like they dress up matching. There was a moment they had in New York Fashion Week. That was cute. But otherwise, it's kind of cringe. I don't foresee me watching it again. The finale was cute.
Do they always dress the same? Because that's what it kind of looked like to me.
Not only do they always dress the same, but their hair is the same, and they actually like take cucumber baths together.
Ew.
Yeah, and the mom, loses her shit when the daughter tries to express her desire to catch a life. outside of her mother.
Yeah, well, that's gonna happen. Did
But
you?
I don't mean like loses her shit, like yells. I mean she like screams, she throws something.
Oh,
It's kind of epic, yeah.
it was a reunion, you said, or the finale?
No, it was just a finale, and then at the end they kind of give you the textual, like this is what happened later when we caught up with them, or this is what they're doing now since we filmed.
So there's no reunion. It's just kind of like this is the last episode, and they're still obsessed with each other.
Basically, yeah, there's some really weird, heavy shit going on in that show.
Yeah, I don't watch it.
So I'm kind of glad we don't watch it.
I don't watch it because I've seen like the daughters like showering together, and yeah, and the
honestly, the most
just
disturbing
weird stuff
was you have a son, or I mean, I don't know, I guess the son-in-law.
Mm-hmm.
So he's married to this beautiful girl who's pregnant, and they have 3 children together, and he has this overly intimate, close relationship with her mother, to the point where they like feeding each other like birds with like mouth to mouth at the baby shower in front of people.
The mother of his wife.
Yes.
I didn't know about that one. That's crazy.
There was a lot. Yeah, and I just thought, oh my God, a whole season of this? This is crazy. I couldn't do it.
Yeah, no. But speaking of crazy, I saw on your list that you have couple to throuple. But
I was curious. Did you?
No, I didn't know that it had already. I had mentioned it because I was like, we should watch it or something. But I didn't know that it was already going. That's already aired.
It's on its way. It's already on its way. But it's still early enough if you wanted to join me and watch.
I've seen the commercials.
What I appreciate about this show is that they are treating the subject matter and the context with respect and dignity. So these are not children that are just horny and want to have sex with other people.
Okay.
These are fully developed relationships. People that have been together 9 years, 7 years. They're married.
Right.
And they're coming in wanting to introduce a third. And then the singles that they have are actually all people that are either don't know anything but polyamory, or I mean, that's like their lifestyle. So again, this isn't like some experimental, just a whole bunch of horny kids.
Not like Love Island or something. So
yeah, and I like that because they could exploit it and they could kind of like make it seem seedy or dirty, and they're treating it like, no, this is a real thing.
Yeah,
you can have a relationship with more than 2 people, and they have, of course, it's the genders are mixing, and so it's just really nice to kind of see.
The genders
I'm curious to see where it goes. Well, I'm saying normally they are really stringent with like how they do. Everything is very boy, girl, boy, girl.
Mm.
But this is very like, well, you might want a woman, you might want a man.
Oh, the numerous genders. All the mixings.
There are many more than just the 2 genders. I shall acknowledge that officially. However,
like, how do you mix
in the
all
world
these
of
genders?
reality show, the fact that they're not just assuming it's heterosexual.
It's a girl, it's a guy. You never know what you're going to get. What could it be?
You know what I mean.
I know, but you know what I mean too. It's like, oh wow,
yes,
crazy!
That's why I just
it's
clarified.
a guy. Oh my god, it's a girl.
Because in terms of reality show, that's why I'm like,
No,
hey, look at that. They're not just going boy, girl, which is typically what you see.
Yeah.
And the final thing on my feed is really the one thing that I'm the most excited about, and I am disappointed there was only 1 season. This woman is everywhere, Lisa Vanderpump.
Mm.
There is a series called Vanderpump Dogs.
Oh, is that based on her nonprofit, if you will?
Yes. And they're amazing.
Are they?
I went and I looked and I made sure before I'm speaking about it because it's a serious thing. And they do quite a lot of things. And they're international. So they're actually known. They have 2 sanctuaries in China where they went and rescued like 800 dogs from the meat market.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know about that.
And that's what I mean. And if you follow them, they really are doing it. And what I like about them is that because she has so much money behind it, she could really have like this well-rounded situation. So, they take them in, they're training them, they're doing rehabilitation. But I wanted to just talk about Vanderpump Dogs because there's just 1 season and they show them matching them up with dogs. They even show them matching them up, training and matching a service dog with someone, a paraplegic. I just really warmed my heart. I hope there's more seasons because that was really good, feel-good TV.
All right. Did you see the Real Housewives drama where like Dorit or somebody got the dog, then apparently gave the dog to someone else, and it was returned back to the shelter, and there was all this drama between that?
No.
Yeah, there's like something between that. Or Kyle, it's one of them. I'll have to look into it. But yeah, that had happened, or yeah.
Oh no, because the way Lisa's attitude is very, these are not toys.
Yeah.
Like they even have this guy who's like a fashion, he's got his own little fashion show. So he's got this like little brand and he does runway interviews and, he's trying to make it in Hollywood. And he comes in and he's like, I've been here a while. He's like Australian. I've been here a while that I would just love a little dog that I can just take everywhere with me on the runway. And she's like, this isn't a fashion accessory. And I was like, yes, Lisa, please educate the person here.
Yeah, I hear that. But Lisa is also someone who like collects little rare horses. Like midget horses and little things. I know. I hear that, but when you have
that's kind of like when they're like, I paid for my carbon offsets.
That's what I'm saying, right?
Yeah, I get it.
It's like, but you're not paying Planet Earth, and you're not fixing your carbon offset with more money. This season, we're talking about our favorite franchise, 90 Day Fiancé, and we're focused on the single life, which I think it's called 90 Day The Single Life. So they remove the fiancé. I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know if that's true or not, but I think it's called 90 Day The Single Life. And then they add fiancé to the rest of them. I'm not totally sure. I'll have to look at our cycle of life and things, but I think that's what it is. I know, right? You're not sure, huh? Now that I've mentioned it.
I mean, it would make sense, and like it would help because, my God, I'm sure some of their titles get long. I mean, not as long as our podcast name, but
I know
long.
But I think it's just 90 Day The Single Life. But I'll have to double check that. But anyway, today we are getting into episode 7.
Miss Debbie and Ruban the Cuban are cruising and schmoozing around Miami, Little Havana. Natalie and Mom are celebrating American Halloween for the very first time, and John is introducing Meghan to his brother and Thais.
Yes, so happy to see Tyray enjoy a proper first date, I guess, because the person showed up with Teresa.
So it's like his real first date.
Right, okay, so it's official, something like that. And Tumor Timothy is delivering yet another beautiful, cringy performance during his date with Louisa, where he just makes every moment awkward as best as he can.
Are you forcing me to kiss you right now? Anyway, still no Chantel, boo, which means no Grease, because that's really all we care about.
Yes.
And surprisingly, while there indeed was a Tumor Timothy, this time there was no Veronica. I don't know how they did that, mirrors or special effects, but she wasn't on camera. But if the coming attractions are true, it's not looking good for Veronica and Jamal, so we're going to see next week.
Yeah, looks like Veronica's, it sucks.
Yeah, they don't look like they're getting along.
In the coming up. But you know what? I blame Veronica for all of that.
I know, and I was really trying to avoid blaming her, but I do as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're jumping in, and we're starting with my fashion idol. Where's my glasses? Miss Debbie.
Yes, let's get into the vibe because that's how this scene starts.
Oh, Miss Debbie.
Miss Debbie. Let me get my personality.
And Miss Debbie gives very good advice to her son and says, "Keep your ass in the bushes."
Say that again.
Right? That's literally what she said.
Oh my God, I cannot read my own notes with these glasses. Oh my God.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting. Like she's talking with her son, and her son just without any trip or anything, blazingly basically shows that he's just upset that she's dating someone who's not an American. Because he goes into, well, you're dating all these foreigners without acknowledging that this foreigner
and I know and
lives in
Florida. Can I just say that his right. So not only is he talking about someone while in Florida, but then his next like big shocking like what if statement is Canada, as though what's next? You're gonna go to Canada.
Oh, he's so like, he sounds so stupid to me. Yeah.
Yeah, well, you know what? I'm with Miss Debbie because I remember she said something about she likes international flavor. And I was like, yes, I have always said I like a man that can kiss me in a different language.
What?
Points.
And I have that thing where he's like judging the way he's dressed, calling him, I don't know what he called him. But I just thought it was, again, stupid because look at your mother and all of this is clothing and things. They come off and change colors. And he dresses in a costume when he plays policeman. Like he's literally wears a costume for a living. That's all I got to say.
He could take some notes. Like get a personality, Julian. Please.
For real.
Oh, I do not like her.
Yeah, he gets a close up and he was he goes, I'm not getting a good vibe from Ruban. And all these negative things.
Well, we're
and
not
I really
getting
was
a good vibe from you.
Right. I was like, that's all you. We're not getting a good vibe from you.
No, honestly, you know what I was thinking? I thought about you actually at a moment because I was like, typical cop, right? He's acting as though she needs him, as though he's going to prevent some crime, right? He's going to protect her heart by interceding. And I'm like, no, you're just going to get in the way. Your job is to show up later, okay?
Yeah, no, he's a mess.
You're not a preventative measure, dude. Not in life, not in your career. In no way are you preventative. You're just an annoyance.
Yeah, if he came at me with like a wife and 3 kids and a huge savings and they're all in private school and he was like all whatever and he was like, my mother just can't get it together, then maybe I'd believe him because I'm like, oh yeah, look at you with your little mini family. But he is a cop.
Well, no, if he was like, oh, Mom, do you need money again? Do I need to take care of you? It's not.
That's what I mean.
We're so unimpressed.
I think he's still living with his mom. I mean, come on, get out of here. The only thing that I found interesting is that she has 2 kids, that she has a daughter too.
Right, but the daughter's like doing her own thing.
The daughter is choosing not to be on the TV show. That's why I think that he lives with her.
Right.
Like, wow, that's a winner. That's all they got. It's all like a quick in and out. I felt like this whole episode was about Debbie. Debbie was the fantasy. When it was over, I was upset, and then I was like, it was all about Debbie. I felt like this, like, it really was about Debbie.
Yeah. Yeah.
Debbie is doing what Chantel thinks she's doing.
Well, Debbie also has
Right?
a good 50 years on Chantel, so Chantel will figure it out.
But am I right? Like, Chantel's got the youth and
Yes.
Greece and all the everything, but like Debbie is living the fantasy as far as I'm concerned. And then speaking of more drama and fun, we have our actress, Natalie. Have you seen her Instagram?
I don't know. Obviously not.
Have you not?
Why?
I'm just curious. Have you
What
gone?
am I missing?
Have you gone to her Instagram?
Maybe not.
No, I don't think you have. I don't think you have.
Okay. So you're not going to tell me.
No, you need to go. It is so interesting. I think her Instagram is another layer of who she is.
Okay.
That's all I have to say. And I want you to
Well,
go.
we'll talk
You
about
need
that
to go.
next time.
Yeah, you need to go and look.
Okay.
And tell me. That's all I'm going to say.
There were a couple things this episode that I had me questioning.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so first of all, she's like, oh, I'm so excited to be celebrating Halloween. It's our first holiday. And I was like, you're a liar because I watched you celebrate 4th of July in St. Petersburg.
But it's their first time celebrating Halloween.
Yes, and also with Mom. But she was like, this is our first holiday. I was like, okay, semantics. And then also, I guess maybe I selectively forgot, but I didn't realize that she's been married 3 times.
Oh my God. And that I think is because just like in this episode where I think that comes from her mom pressuring her because her mom was like, by now you should have kids.
God, with the children.
Like, which I totally get because I feel that way too. Sometimes looking at things, I'm like, God, I wish people's kids were here. So I get that with the mom, and the mom's dying, because she's older. But that's why she's had, I think, like 3 husbands.
Oh, I feel bad for her
because she's just been trying to like, just be like, yeah, this is the one I'm gonna have kids with this one, and it's not like you're not really like, she's not really doing the work.
No, I watch, a lot of the period films, as you know, like I love historical monarchy dramas and things. And she is really giving me like this old, like this poor girl is just being pushed around in order to fulfill other people's desires.
Family,
and she is just like,
destiny.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's like, that's my job because I have a vagina.
Yeah. And my mom wants to have kids by now. Yeah. I just think it's fucked up because by the end, it looks like the relationship's not working because Natalie is totally dramatic. But when you hear them speak about like the reason why Natalie is acting the way she is, because she wants, you know, to be tied down, this and that. And then you break down why he's acting the way he is. It's kind of interesting. It's like they're good for each other, but it's like the way they're acting is messing each other up. You know?
I don't know. I don't think, no, fact that he's completely compartmentalized.
I agree. I think that's wrong. With the whole, like, the fact that he's, like, going out of town and not introducing her to the kids. But he says
holidays?
Also, though, that he's cautious. I think it's strange. I mean, I think it was hard, too, though, because the mom they compared Michael to him. And the fact that they said, oh, Michael was, like, move in with me immediately. And
Yes.
Josh hasn't. I'm like, yes, I feel that. But also we're talking about, I feel like, two different kinds of money.
Well, I'm not talking about, but see, I'm okay with him not move in with me and marry me. I'm not expecting that. That's not realistic, especially for like a man in a city. But certainly if you're buying me things and you're taking care of me,
Yeah.
and you are talking to me and treating me like I will be your forever, like that's the path we're on. Maybe during the holidays you could introduce me to your family. Like I have a feeling that your kids don't even know I exist. That's a problem.
Yeah, she's just a girlfriend right now. Like,
If that,
yeah,
even.
and then we're left with not knowing because they go to a restaurant. He sees her, she's pissed, and that's it. But
She looks like she's breaking up with
But she
him.
said, "I'm done." In the interview, she was like,
Yeah,
"I'm
she
done."
looks like she's breaking up with him.
Yeah, she said she was done.
And also, I don't know if you remember this expression in LA. I'm sure it's more than LA, but when Josh is speaking at the very end and he's like, my friends say that and he kind of pauses and he hesitates and he's like, they say I'm a rescuer.
Yeah,
I was like, oh, isn't that a nice way to say that they're calling you Captain Save a Ho?
yeah, and maybe that's what
But
he
who
is.
cares, Josh? It's just because they want what she has. It's not even that they care about you.
Or maybe he just needs to focus on his kids and not keep like getting women that needs like all of this.
Yeah, well,
Just saying.
if he wants to be with a certain type of girl, then that's what he's getting.
Well,
I think
yeah,
that
that's
it's
what you're
very
getting. If
comfortable
you're
for
going
him.
to someone in Ukraine, yeah, I mean, if you want, date someone in LA who already has a place to live.
I'm just saying that to me, it doesn't matter what he might say to us on camera. I think there is a large element of he loves the way it is. He loves that he can just put her over here in this little box and she's not intrusive. I don't know if he takes her seriously.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like he's taking it slow. That's where I'm at right now. I feel like he is taking it seriously because no one's going to be, I don't feel like anyone's going to be like getting you apartments and cars and things like that. Because he also has kids. That's what I mean. Like, because then there's also like, he has a need out there. I don't know.
I know they do give him the villain edit and I do fall for it. So we're going to see. But if she
Yeah.
breaks up with him, that's it.
And then we'll see. He'll be back at the reunion for sure.
Well, yeah, he's just not like as verbal as, let's do this next lead in as Sparkles.
Yep. Sparkles picks up his girl from Texas, brings her to Vegas, and shows off his one bedroom in someone else's house.
Okay, so I had a couple things. Did you notice that she could only be there for one day? That
Yes.
is like mega fast. 2, you and I have been to Vegas multiple times. I'm pretty sure you do not need to take the strip to get anywhere.
No. Yeah, I thought that too. And he was like, oh, it's a strip. I'm like, well, that was a tourist way to go somewhere.
So that's like a shitty, so you just took her through 2 hours of traffic to show her lights.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And then the fact that he uses boxes and suitcases for lack of furniture. And like you pointed out, he's not even in his own home. So it's not like he needs to furnish a home. You just needed to furnish a room.
But he's so transient.
I mean, I don't know. But this is what I'm talking about. Like, you can say all the nice things about his intentions. He's a good guy, whatever the fuck. But this is a woman who is the mother of a child who has special needs.
Well, she's
And
realizing
what are you
that.
doing fucking around with this thing?
I'm hoping she's realizing that because she goes to dinner with the brother and they're very much call out what I was sensing, which is, wow, this is all physical. And
Right.
now you're trying.
Well, and also she's not done. She wants more children.
And she wants another one.
Yeah. Honestly, I actually had feelings because regardless of how you feel about me, like in our sibling relationship, if I'm excited about someone and I introduce you, the last thing that I'm expecting is for you to be giving me the third degree. I felt like his brother was being really rude.
Interesting.
Like, I understand where you're coming from. Like, you want to be a realist. But did you have to literally go out of your way to make your brother look like an asshole? Because let's be
Yeah.
real. The relationship that you have with your wife, what was that based on, Patrick? Long, deep conversations? Really? Like, how many times did he go and see Thais before they were getting married?
Yeah. I hear you.
I just felt it was hypothetical. You know, it was not hypothetical. It was hypocritical. And I just felt like it was kind of rude. Like like I said, even if there's truth to it, geez, you should have had your brother's back a little bit.
Yeah.
You didn't have to make him look like a total asshole.
Yeah, he did. Maybe that was the edit, but I feel you're totally right. That is what happened.
I felt like they were both like, ha ha ha, like he's been fucking with us all this time. It's our turn. And I was like, that's mean.
Whatever.
I mean, you could have said that to him privately and been like, yo, dude, what do you, like, this isn't right. But you don't like slash him in front of the girl.
Yeah. Well, she was only there for a day, so you got to give her the full family experience.
I don't know. I'm just saying. I would never expect you to talk, even if, like I said, even if that was your opinion of me. I would never expect you to be like, "Oh, nice to meet you," and let me tell you all the shitty things about my sister.
I know. Yeah, no, that was fucked up. But I think they were just trying to like dive in and be like, "Is this real?" Because they can sense that she wants to get married. And
I know, but it should have been more like, "Nice to meet you."
Yeah, not say anything.
I don't know.
Not say anything. You'd be like, "Oh my gosh, yeah, he's gonna be a great dad."
That's the kind of or you ask the questions
that he doesn't want to have kids.
Or you ask the questions and then you discuss it with him because again, this is all I'm saying is if you're family. The person you should be concerned about is your family member and not this stranger that you just met today.
Yeah.
And you potentially won't see again. So if you're coming from the place of, I need to really watch out for her. Well, shit, who's watching out for your brother?
Well, maybe they were watching out for the both of them because it's kind of like...
Again, it's not like I disagree with what they were saying. I just don't like...
Yeah. I hear that.
Yeah, it wasn't nice.
And then we have Tyray, who goes on his first date. He goes on a voodoo tour with Teresa, who just finished her swamp tour.
Oh my God, I'm glad that you clocked that because...
And I bought this hat in New Orleans.
Who does that, though?
Well, the minute she was like, "Oh, I just did a swamp tour, now I'm doing this tour," I was like, "Oh my God, this girl's like on vacation and she's just doing tours." So I was expecting her to be like, "Well, gotta go." Because, you just...
Well, that's like when a guy... Yeah, like one time I went to watch a Cirque du Soleil performance when they were on tour in Santa Monica. And that was legit some dude I did not know that had an extra ticket. And I was like, I will go on that date because I want to see Cirque.
Yeah, that's what this was.
Yeah, because, I mean, if you were actually interested, I mean, I don't care how chill you are, honey, you would not show up to your first date coming off a swamp tour.
Yeah. I thought it was funny that he thought that that he related the ghost tour to being ghosted, and he was like, "Oh, this is like speaking to us, because it's like ghosts, and I was ghosted." The
tour was really weird. At first, I thought it would be really cool, like he was going to show him around, but it was really odd. And the tour guide,
I think the tour guide the problem was that he was probably socially awkward, and so he took the drama too far. But that's kind of cool, those little walking tours. Yeah, the tour guide should have like winded it down a little bit to just the two of them. Because all of a sudden, he cranked it up to like there was 30 people. Do you know what I mean? If 30 people are there, then you absolutely would be like, it's intrigue and drama, right? Because there's 30 people there. But 2 people?
Acid, he was full Shakespeare in the Park.
I know.
He was like...
But the thing is, like, they do these things. This is an audition. There's, like, masters. They do this shit now as, like, Dungeons and Dragons, where they have, like, master ceremonies who actually do this shit with the drama. That's what it reminded me of.
No, I'm friends with a professional storyteller. Like, he goes on tour.
Right, you focus on who's there. But he was very much like...
That's what I'm trying to say, is that...
All of a sudden, the audience became 30. From the beginning,
like, the minute they meet up with him, they're like, "Oh, I hope we're going has AC." And he was like, "Oh, I didn't hear that. I'm just going to... have you standing in the street for 2 hours."
But if you booked a walking tour and they're like, "God, I hope this place has wine," and there's no wine on the tour, what are you going to do? Change your product?
Maybe.
No.
Or flex a little bit.
No, these city walking tours
stand in the shade.
Buildings and things. They have, they're not going to be like, "Oh, let me take you to this restaurant and talk about the building down the street."
I just know that when I was watching it, I felt very much like Tyray was like Frosty the Snowman, and I was watching him out on television.
Yeah,
I felt bad.
But that was his fault. That was their setup. That was their thing. That's what they did.
Yeah, he booked the date. He did that.
He could have done a swamp tour and been splashed with water, but he didn't. He didn't.
So it was a very cordial goodbye. Probably won't see you again, but we're going to pretend that we will.
Well, it's cordial because this adult woman is still trying to figure out on who she is.
It's not you. It's me.
And I get this, and we're all on different ages, and I understand trying to find who you are. But like, let me tell you, of someone who tries to find who they are all the time, it's like, that's you. You're you, boo boo.
Yeah, you're the one that's always trying to find who you are. Like,
you're
I
trying
have
to
friends
find
that are
who
still
you
in
are,
college.
That's you. You're fucking
Right.
lost. So that's what you need to say.
Right.
I'm lost. Not I'm trying to find who. No, you're lost right now. That's who you are. Because that was me. That's me every like 3 months, girl.
I talked to a friend of mine and I said, I hate to break this to you, but you're the 40-year-old in college now. Ugh. You're the guy. We always wondered who of the friend group would be still here, and you're him.
Yeah,
you're the
like,
creepy guy that's still at college.
all those things. I got through all these things. I just find out who I am. Like, okay, you know who you are. You're beat up. You're messed up. You're not attracted. Like, that's all you right now. But okay, fine. Go on that journey.
Oh my gosh. But wait, you know what? Speaking to that and the reality show world, when I was watching that Vanderpump Rules reunion during the Scandival,
Yeah.
there's a guy on there, Jax,
Yeah.
who says, I'm not perfect and I've learned a lot this year and I'm not the same guy I was last year. And Andy literally says, you've said that so many times at the reunion. And they literally put in montage and it was like 7 every fucking year. The same person is like,
What's what I'm trying to say?
I'm not perfect.
I read self-help books, at least I used to, and do all those things. It's like, that's what I'm trying to say. Let me tell you from someone who used to be on the journey of finding themselves. I found myself. That's me. I'm on the journey of finding myself. That's me. So let's have a talk with myself. I'm lost.
Hi, it's you. You're the problem.
I'm confused.
It's you.
Yeah. This is where I'm at. I don't know where I'm going. I have no goals.
Your personality type is
unknown.
unknown.
Like, these people. Yeah, I'm trying to find who I am. Okay, well,
Yeah.
that's who you are.
Well, you and I are big fans of self-awareness. So
Speaking of self-awareness, and I have nothing to say about him because he has no self-awareness, is Timothy, Tumor Tim. I had one note. He was awkward. He fucked it up. He's awkward, period.
yeah, I had 2 notes. The first was, it starts with him putting everything on Jamal, making some statement about, as long as he keeps acting ABC, then it'll be fine, because of course nothing's on him. And then, the date was the most cringe thing I think I'd ever seen or have in such a long time.
That was
that
so
I
crazy.
recall anything more cringe.
So crazy.
I mean, he literally was like, why are you coming so close to me? And the whole time I was like, I'm going to report again to Acid. Like, is he asexual? Is there something broken in his body?
Yes. I don't know what's wrong with him.
Are you trying to force me to kiss you?
But there's obviously
Force you?
No, there's obviously something wrong with him, and he says I have all these thoughts about my breath, this and that. Like, that's when he starts saying that. I'm like, he probably has one of those things where everything has to be folded in the right way, and you can't see any creases, and I can't see any folds, even though it's folded. So you got to roll it, and everything has to be white, and I can't see anything. It has to be black.
But how do you date someone like that, though? Because
I think John Cena is like that. I know that's totally random.
John Cena.
Yeah, he's like this American, I think, footballer sport guy. I can't be telling you.
Oh,
he's now an actor / talking.
Yes, I know who he is.
Because I saw a clip from his reality.
He's quite beloved, actually, because he's funny.
I saw a clip of a reality show he was a part of, where at the time his fiance, surprised him at his house and started cooking in the kitchen. And the only thing he was talking about was the mess, the cleaning. I got to clean the stone. But look, this is something marble and blah, blah. And I was like, and the minute he started talking, the way he's dressed, I was like, oh my God, this guy, he did work hard for everything he got. I was like, he literally is living in a house so he can resell it. It's an investment. He does not want to live in it. And that's how he lives his life. It's very much like, because he wears a suit all the time. He's very much like, I look a certain way because this is where I want. And he said this because I want my life to go in a certain direction. But wow, it just made me think of like, I don't know who dates that, because how can you not have cooked dinner in your kitchen?
You have to meet someone with a similar predication.
Yeah. Anyway, and that ends my 90-day The Single Life.
Peter, the most faithful of the faithful, has earned his title. And he has rejected the Traitors' offer. And a lot of the players' emotions have started to floweth over. But honestly, I was quite shocked. That was my little poem.
Wow, I love that you wrote
like
that intro. Thank you for the dramatic reading as well. Thank you. Wow.
My Natalie has floweth over to Traitors. So it's another no murder morning, and I was really surprised that Peter rejected them. I was like, that's balls. Good for you, Peter.
Me too, and I'm shocked because I didn't know that you could do that. So that was pretty hot, and also very smart.
You didn't know he could reject them?
Well, remember I had asked you, and you told me, so I didn't know.
Yeah,
I didn't know how that worked. So the fact that he did,
I just didn't think he would.
I'm glad that he did. I mean, he's a man of his word.
Yes, he's very King Arthur.
So good for him. But what's funny enough is Peter sticking to his guns. He wants to get Poverty, and Trishelle, who I hate, wants to get Phaedra.
Right.
And at this point, it's like, I think it's proof that having an alliance might be a bad thing, because Peter, he knows he's in trouble. Them going off in corners, and then they went over the numbers. And it was like, even my first thought before they did the numbers thing was like, there's only 4 or 5 of you, and then there's the rest of the house. What are you doing? No matter what, you're like, what are you doing in any of these games?
Exactly.
What are you doing? Sorry, not to interrupt, but like,
exactly.
Right? That's, I mean,
well, that's why I'm glad that Sandra kind of like stepped up for a minute there.
And she's,
because she pointed out exactly what you're talking about, is that don't get ahead of yourself. You see, that's what I mean about the ego and the arrogance. It keeps kind of like jumping on these people. And they get a little ahead of themselves. And Sandra's like, hold up, there are numbers here, and you're not doing the numbers. Because he's getting real comfortable.
She's a survivor girl, right?
She's not just a survivor, but she's like a winner.
No, but that's what I mean.
Winner.
Yeah, but like, that's what I'm saying. She's a survivor girl. I mean, she's someone that is of that. That's the game where you weigh the numbers, you weigh the votes, you weigh the false votes, and who's going to flip.
and you know how to read behaviors,
and
you can predict certain things.
Yeah, so listen to this woman.
Well, right, and if you ever meet a survivor, like if you ever meet someone that says I'm from Survivor on another show, that's either a winner or someone that's so legendary they should have been a winner. So I just feel like the minute someone says I'm from Survivor, you should be like, uh-oh. Because that kind of trumps everybody. Because that's the most difficult game.
Yeah, that is
play.
Yeah, that is the kind of game that they're playing right now, which is the strategy.
Yeah, except for the game that Phaedra plays, which is real life game.
Phaedra Hunty.
Which is, I'll get you arrested and I will embalm you in real life. I don't even need a show.
Phaedra, and Phaedra is playing the Survivor game and has played the Survivor game. She just was never on Survivor. So, and
That's what I mean. Phaedra doesn't need cameras. Phaedra's just like...
Yeah, they don't know it. And it's true, because there was like a moment where Poverty brings her in and they're talking, right? And she's like, oh, we're going to make a plan with someone. And then Phaedra leaves. It was like, oh no.
Okay, but wait.
Peter's going to set up trap. And I'm like, oh, so we can talk about Phaedra is so smart.
But get into the fact that Peter actually pulls in the 2 traitors, knowing but not knowing, like he couldn't possibly know. And it was such a weird scene. And you're right, the way Phaedra handled that, she was acting from the second. She was just like, oh, I'm not comfortable with this. I don't do this. Like, she was just backing away from any suspicion that she could possibly be a liar.
Yeah.
Or capable of deception in any way, because she's just so uncomfortable with it.
She's smart.
Oh, it's working. It's working. She's kicking ass.
She's doing the social game really well.
Yeah, I kind of wanted to talk about the challenge a little bit.
Okay.
Because, after they kind of strategize, right, they all go into the challenge. And I kind of gagged at the fucking net in the forest. That was real, right?
Yeah.
Confirm for me, please.
Yes.
Okay, because unlike the coffin, that was legitimate. Like, they were like,
when you look
woo!
but also, again, you kind of look like you see, what was her name? Kate. There is a moment of looking up at the producers or something of like, oh shit, is something going to happen or this and that. So yes, it does happen, but
no, but
it's still not it's not as scary as like out of fucking nowhere, but yeah,
but still,
and that's fun. I think the net thing is
epic.
more fun than jumping in tar or mud or whatever that happened.
Well, yeah, because then even like you had to figure out that you were stuck because you weren't actually going to be stuck.
And they didn't know, and they're like, I guess I lost this one.
I think. Okay, and then the meeting with you have to hand the fire for the shields.
Right. Yes, that there's going to be 5 people left up to the traitors.
Acid. Tears.
Well, they first goes Kevin and Sandra.
Phaedra.
They get to decide. right? And so they choose Sheree. And
Okay,
then Sheree, which is fucked up.
I was like the ultimate floater.
I wrote down the order.
went with-
Yes, which is stupid. I thought they were like, let's just throw this away. That's what that
I
felt
literally
like.
was like, why Sheree? It was never even explained why Sheree.
Yeah.
Did you notice that?
I know, because there is no explanation. She's like, oh, thanks.
And then Sheree goes Phaedra, which then
Gives
she
to Phaedra. And Phaedra is
She
crying.
cried. And it was
Yeah.
real.
Yeah, and like she said, and I believe her, she just kind of was thinking, I think outside of the show, was just thinking like, look at us 20 years.
Well, did you? Yeah, because she said, remember when she was like on the chair doing the confessional? And she's like, to think that we're full circle. And then she actually got choked up again.
Yeah.
Just thinking about it, I was like, oh, that's some real shit, Phaedra. Watch out. But also, I thought it was interesting because Sheree is also quite the villain, if you know about her from 20 years ago. So the fact that two of the bad guys are together, not surprising.
Right. And then Phaedra
Like,
gives
yes.
her fire to her husband, her TV husband, CT.
Yes.
Who's also a loose cannon. He flip-flops.
But that's CT's being CT.
Yeah, but people don't,
He's emotional.
I don't think realize that he's playing a few groups, you know, because he puts his foot in the faithful of faithfuls group and then he steps out when he wants to. Like he's the only one that's kind of like, sure, I'm with
I
you guys,
think-
and sure, I'm not.
Well, because I think that because of his size and his accent, just the way he portrays himself, I don't think anyone gives him any credit for having a brain. And I don't think they realize that that's actually quite a smart, strategic man in
Yeah.
there. And he's just playing good old boy. But he's not a good old boy. Like, he is a winner, multiple winner of the challenge. And that's also highly strategic and social.
Yeah. And then he gives his flame to the politician, John.
Honestly, the whole torch thing had me, all the choices were like, huh?
And then the politician, who's in the Faithfuls group, right? The little group, gives it to...
Yes, he is.
Which is smart, which is what they should have done to Peter.
Right. Well, because do you remember what he called him? He said he was forensically focused. He said Peter is forensically focused.
So there you go. And Poverty is just mad because she thinks all these people... Why would Phaedra pick Poverty? I get why, because they're traitors. But in the social game in which, you know, is displayed to the group, why would have Phaedra given it to Poverty? I don't understand that. The whole time Poverty's like, oh, I know Phaedra's going to give it to me. Why? You guys are not portrayed even as friends or socially interactive amongst a group, right? So it's like, if you want to just blow everything out of the water, sure, here, Poverty, even though we don't talk. I don't know, it just seems strange. Right?
Oh, no, I'm with you. Look, I had a similar reaction to Trishelle, although there's a relationship there. It's almost as though she's not from the challenge. Like, this bitch has played also another veteran, a veteran of the challenge. How many times are you sold down the river in the challenge before you learn the lesson?
But which is why that whole emotional bullshit is annoying. And I'm like, but that's what they do on the challenge is they'll do that bullshit. And I'm like, this is
guilt.
Another reason why I don't like you.
Right.
I'm an old challenge watcher. I haven't watched the new ones, but I've seen all 30 previous to this one.
So I'm saying she's like OG. She knows what she's...
They all play that emotional bullshit. Not play it, but it does come in like, oh, I thought you were my real friend, and that does happen. But it's like, like you said, this is like your 15th one, Trishelle. Like, at what point do you realize that you're filming a TV show?
Well, and again, unless you literally had a conversation with this highly strategic man and said, hey, we're good, we got each other, but you're not even talking game. She is poop on her. Yeah,
I don't like her. Well, maybe I also have a bad taste in my mouth because of the way she treated Peppermint, and then in her drama with the other one.
I think both of us are so...
That's where I'm at with her. So it's not really like, ooh, I hate you. It's
Me
like,
too.
bitch, the way you treated Peppermint is like a taste that will never be washed out of my mouth.
No, I'm telling you, she's got a stake on her, and
it is.
I'm over and everything she does now feeds into this like trope.
Yeah, this white lady. Oh my god, I'm the victim trope. Yeah, I just don't feel comfortable.
And I'm extra offended because I'm like, I have to carry that on me,
Yeah,
and that's your fault.
Ugh.
Like right. Because again, so Trishelle was boohooing, and then like you said, the weird expectancy of Poverty to expect Phaedra, who they're not even friends, they don't talk to each other in the game, to all of a sudden Phaedra would choose her.
Okay, hold
when
up.
There's already
And then-
there's already a weird suspicion on her.
And then, like, how many episodes ago did straight up Poverty call her out and say, I think it's one of the housewives? Like, when I really think about it, why the fuck would a housewife give you, Poverty, the fire? When you literally
Honestly,
were trying
what's
to
really-
get them banished a week, like 2 weeks prior.
And also,
right?
you know what's really
Like,
weird,
come on.
dude? Okay, so check this out also.
So stupid.
Is that behind closed doors, because the two traitors, they have been going at it almost the last 3 meetings that they've had. Phaedra has been very clear. I don't agree with you. I don't like what you're doing. There's always some bullshit going on. Phaedra's always backing the fuck off. And Poverty is almost like oblivious to all the signs are there, girl. You're alone. You're playing alone. Stop expecting things from Phaedra. Like, I feel like that's going to be her downfall.
Well, yeah. I was going to say, it ends with us not knowing who they're going to murder and Phaedra giving her an acting lesson.
Right. But again, Phaedra keeps going, well, the decision's yours.
She's
So
so
that she has,
smart.
what is that? Plausible deniability. She could just be like, oh, well, it wasn't my fault.
But also, she can also, you know, when the time comes, be like, well, Poverty wouldn't you want him gone because of this? You know, like, because that's
I'm just saying the Peter thing. Remember, she kept saying, oh, well, Poverty wanted that. Poverty wanted that. So I was like, right, distance yourself, honey.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So, and that's what I mean, because she will bring it up at the round table later. Trust me, Phaedra will bring it all up when she needs to at that round table. That's why she's like, get me out of here, get me out of here. She's like, I know what's happening, get me out of here.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
It was good. It was a great episode.
Phaedra for the win on that one still.
Yeah, still. Come on, Kate.
Tune in next week as we discuss episode 8 of 90 Day, maybe Fiancé, 90 Day, The Single Life.
We've got ultimatums, arguments, and maybe even some breakups. Ruban asked Debbie to move to Miami. Meghan asked John to move to Texas. And Veronica wants Jamal to move to Charlotte. That is a lot of moving, even for 90 Day Fiancé, and all these motherfuckers are in America.
I mean, as if that's not enough moving and drama, Natalie looks like she is on her way to break up with Josh, honey, and in public, in a restaurant. Really dramatic.
Make that scene.
And our favorite Spartan, Giannis, might be showing his true, you put fuckboy colors.
I didn't know what to say.
Oh dear. Will Chantel leave Greece brokenhearted? Bring the popcorn and the tissues.
Yes, and we're going to cover episode 8 of Traitors. So many faithfuls with shields, and the mistrust between the traitors grows. Who will Poverty decide to murder, and will her choice expose her further?
Tune in next week for the ramen. Tune in
So
next
top
week
ramen.
for the top ramen romance, the intrigue, and the model murder. So you can reach us via our website and let us know what you want us to talk about, especially with new shows coming up, or if you have something that you would like to say, or maybe join our podcast. You can reach us at our website at sorrywew'retewedidn'twanttobehere.com, or wedidn'twanttobehere.com with the number 2 instead of the letter of the words 2, if that makes sense.
Yes, and I'm Violet.
I'm Acid Betty. As we
as we
always
say.
Do you know why I pulled you over today?
I don't answer questions.
Do you know what speed you were going?
I don't answer questions.
Is this address correct on your ID?
I don't answer questions.
Will you please roll down that window? I can't hear you.
I don't answer questions.
I don't answer questions. Work it out. All right. See you next week. Bye.
Adios.